Alright guys, so some people are having issues with leaking and stuff like that with their RTAs. I use an Avacado, and somebody actually said that they think they might not be wicking it right. Now I need to change my coils and everything already, so I thought I would do it on camera and explain the different reasons why it could be leaking, how to properly wick it the right way so you don't get dry hits or leaking or anything. Now in here, you can see this is the basic deck for the Avacado. Solid like an RTA all the way, the whole deck. There's just 4 holes that are cut out where the cotton gets wicked. I will show you this. But the tools that I use is my little thingy that I use to wrap coils manually. Sometimes I use pads, sometimes I use cotton bacon. It all depends. And scissors to cut. As you can see here, these coils, excuse me with the blurriness, don't look very good, and they don't taste very good either. So I'm going to take them all out. I need a place to put them. For now, I'll put them on top of the wrapper for the cotton pads, and I'll throw them out. If you see, sometimes, this one not so much, it was more the coils that were giving me issues because they were all gunked up. But someone also asked about dry burning. What do you mean by dry burning? How do you do this? See, I took the cotton out, and all there is 4 holes. If the cotton is too thin when it's being threaded into those holes and there's a space, there's a good chance that the juice may come back up on you into the air hole. But to dry burn, as you can see, these coils are blackened and charred. Just give it a quick little until it gets hot. Don't be alarmed. Sometimes it will catch fire. Just quickly blow it out with one big little, because they might be leftover bits of cotton that were not taken out when you removed it, and it will ignite, but it burns it right off. So I blow on it a little bit just to get some of that gunk off, but look at the coils, look so much better. So I think you let it cool down a little bit. Make sure you can actually touch it. And we will start wicking this. Okay. So I use the pads. They come in layers. You can see them, the little layers. You just have to find the layers and separate. You want to make sure that you find the perfect amount of cotton. This one's really thin and wide, and this one's really like skinny and fat, so I might take a couple layers off of this, and I might fold this one up a little bit, just enough. You can always put it in the coil and see how it fits. You want it to have a nice fit feeling when you're tugging back and from side to side through the coil, but you don't want it to be too tight where it can barely move, or it's too loose that you can see a gap between. If you look sideways when the cotton is threaded through, you will see a gap between the cotton and the wire. You don't want any space. You want it to just fill the spot. So what I do is I always super rolly the cotton at first so I can try and see if it will fit, and it looks a little too thick. So, oh, okay, I did it for me. It ripped by accident. Let's hope this is enough. It does not look it though. You can always add some and try this again. It's always nice making mistakes on camera. People get to learn from your mistakes. Sometimes twisting and pushing through helps, but the post is in the way at this point. You need to make sure it's really thin. Well, at least the tip is thin enough for you to thread so you can just pull. There we go. So this is not bad. You want to make sure you have to give into consideration also that you're going around this edge, but you want to cut the cotton where it looks like it's coming halfway down the tank, and know that because it has to come over the edge, when it actually goes through the hole it might be a little lower, but you want to make sure you cut it where it looks like it's going halfway down the tank part. It may not be even, and then you get your little doohickey, whatever you use, and you just push it down into the hole. Now in this one I can see if the cotton fit really well in the coil, but the strands going into the holes, into the juice compartment, are a bit thin. You can actually see the hole. It may be a problem. As long as you don't tip it completely sideways, no juice, you shouldn't have an issue with juice coming out. Just make sure that you're wicking the right way, so that way you don't get, if it's too thin, you may get dry hits, because it's too thin, the heat of the coil, it will disintegrate that cotton. If you notice that the cotton is a little uneven when it's inside, I usually just hold it down and pull from the other side and then push it a little bit in. I'm not very good sometimes with certain demonstrations. I apologize. Just wanna, you can get in from all different angles inside of this avocado to get the cotton in there, but as you can see, that side's a little bit longer than that side. I have OCD, so I can sit here all day finding out what's wrong with it, but oh crap, I just made it worse. A little bit more on that side. Yeah, so I'm over here messing around with something that doesn't need to be fixed. Okay, so pretty much that's how you would do the one side, and then you do the same to the other. Make sure you have enough where you don't see a gap, where you don't see a gap between the cotton and the coil. There's no gap there. The only reason why juice would be leaking is if you can see here, the hole is visible. All you need to make sure you do is you can, before putting it in, flare out the ends of the cotton and remove a little. Make the ends of the cotton that's going in here fluffy. Leave the cotton in here nice and stiff. Don't tip it. Don't let it nail to one side. I'm going to tell you another reason why it could be leaking. See, always make sure you drip on the cotton too, a little bit, just to wet the top. And how you would fill it, you put it in one of the holes, and it fills up. Now, you're going to have a problem with leaking if you fill it up too high. See what I'm doing? It's filled way too high, where the juice is starting to overflow off the top, and it bubbles, and then it drips over the edge like that. you can clean it up. And sometimes, even when it is, you clean it up a little bit, there's going to be some sparse juice here and there. I like to squeeze the bottle and then stick it in the deck. Since it's the same juice, I use it to squeeze up the excess juice that's started to pool. So squeeze the bottle so it's nothing but air first, so that way it has a suction. Make sure that the deck is clean all the way around. I'm gonna have to clean up this spot, but I don't know if you really need me to do the other side. Since I had shown you how to do the one side, it's the same exact thing on the other side. Make sure you have the right amount of cotton to fit through. You can fluff out the ends. I showed you how to dry burn. On this coil, a little bit is brand new, 2 days old, and it gunked up very quickly. I'm trying to get it to focus, and my phone's just being ridiculous. Look at that, it's starting to look rusty. That's all the sweetener is